Hello and welcome to the E-Block. I'm Josh Aldridge in for Stephanie Webb. In theaters this weekend, the Minions are back and Tonto rides again. First up, Johnny Depp stars as Tonto in The Lone Ranger. He plays the famous Native American warrior who teams up with lawman John Reed, aka the Lone Ranger, to fight crime and corruption in the Wild Wild West. Armie Hammer, who you may remember from The Social Network, plays the Lone Ranger in this movie. It's directed by Gore Verbinski, who is also responsible for the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, also starring Johnny Depp. Keep an eye out in this one for some throwbacks to the classic TV show, including that famous line, "Hi-O Silver." Next up, the Minions are back. Despicable Me 2 stars the voices of Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Benjamin Bratt, and Russell Brand in the sequel to the hugely popular Despicable Me. In this one, the villain Gru is somewhat less than villainous as he plays father to 3 adopted girls. Gru is even recruited by the Anti-Villain League to help defeat a brand new supercriminal. The original Despicable Me brought in more than $250 million at the box office, and it's expected this sequel will make even more. Well, they're famous for movies like True Grit, The Big Lebowski, and Fargo. Now, the Coen brothers are back with a look at the folk music scene back in the 1960s. Inside Llewyn Davis stars Carey Mulligan, John Goodman, and Justin Timberlake. It's out December 6th, and it is today's first look.
That to open your big mouth, huh, Funny Boy?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh! I'd fly the river.
Well, if the music's not...
What, quit? Just exist?
What'd you say you played?
Folk songs.
Folk songs. Thought you said you were a musician.
I need to borrow some money.
Not again. Do you ever think about the future at all?
You mean like move to the suburbs, have kids?
That's bad.
If that's what music is for you, a way to get to that place, then yeah, it's a little careerist. And it's a little square. And it's a little sad.
Folk singer with a cat. Is that part of your act? Every time you play a C major, you puke a hairball?
Mel, there was no advance on my solo record. There's got to be some royalty. Mel? Mel!
How you doing, kid?
Well, Buffy has it, and so do Agents Mulder and Scully, and even Smallville's Clark Kent. They all have their own comic books. Bazak and Screech? Yeah, Saved by the Bell is coming back as a comic book, and that's not the only classic TV show. NBC announced plans to bring back Miami Vice, Knight Rider, Airwolf, and even Punky Brewster with the help of Lion Forge Comics. The plan is to launch the digital series this fall, and you can get them through the Kindle bookstore, the Apple iBooks, or the Nook bookstore as well. And probably one of the best comic book movie trilogies ever made is getting even better with 6 awesome discs of awesome collector's edition awesomeness. Warner Brothers will release the Dark Knight Trilogy Ultimate Collector's Edition on Blu-ray on September 24th, along with all of the awesome, all right, that's the last time I'm going to say that, battles with the Joker, Two-Face, and Bane. You also get 2 new featurettes. The first, called The Fire Rises, the creation and impact of the Dark Knight Trilogy, gives an inside look at the creation of the Batman movie reboot with lots of footage no one has seen before and interviews with Zack Snyder and Guillermo del Toro, to name a couple. The second featurette is a conversation with directors Christopher Nolan of the Dark Knight Trilogy and Superman's Richard Donner. The new Blu-ray set also features some pretty cool special memorabilia, and it will cost you about $100. Ever wonder which scenes in your favorite movies were scripted and which ones were improvised by the actors? Well, a list out this week actually highlights 20 famous movie scenes that were never intended to make it to the film. First up, you know that scene in When Harry Met Sally? You know the one I'm talking about. Not at all in the script. The actors came up with that one on the spot to give Sally a shining moment. And the classic line, "I'll have what she's having," was improvised by Crystal on the day of filming. The next one is one of the most iconic lines in cinema. "Leave the gun, take the cannoli" from The Godfather was only half scripted. "Leave the gun" was written in the screenplay, but the cannoli part was completely improvised. Finally, another classic line from another classic movie, "Here's looking at you, kid," from Casablanca was apparently never in the original script for the movie. The line was something Humphrey Bogart used to say to Ingrid Bergman between the takes. It's pretty cool. We've got the whole list on the E-Block Facebook page, and trust me, it's pretty interesting. And that is going to do it for us today. Remember, you can join the conversation on the E-Block Facebook page, and if you can see it here to play it, you're going to find it right here in the E-Block.